Hello everybody and welcome back. I am KRX. We're going to be continuing the starter city build. It's interesting how this one I feel like we've stretched ourselves kind of thin in terms of the infrastructure, and yet this is like we're just flush with money. Everything is going great. I think we have all of our services down that we need, although we could definitely add more services to these areas, because I mean the truth is the service coverage is not good with what we have right now, which is okay because it doesn't matter that it doesn't need to be good or not good. It's just I just kind of noticed that we have a good amount of cash here. We took the loan. That's why, duh, we took the loan. But I think we are going to be growing these areas in, which is good. And then we have a lot of room to expand the whoops, wrong thing. We have a lot of room here to expand the industrial. I think we're going to have to actually probably start expecting some commercial demand to be popping up. I think if we could make this curve, and even though this is that sharp triangle, if we could kind of get another sort of curved road to play off of here, that would be good. We could use a skinny road. See, that's technically giving us 90, but wait a second. That's 12. I think that's a better curve. That's a better curve. That'll give us the commercial that we need, or the yeah, exactly. We do need more power though, it seems. We need to save up for that because we're gonna be getting power issues here soon. We should have that money pretty quickly. It seemed like we hit a lot of population milestones, like all bam, 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 and I think that maybe made us feel like the city was a little bit more economically stable than maybe it actually was. I'm not sure. We definitely need to figure out a way to get in a road here to sort of use this space. This space needs to be more utilized. If we end up bopping some houses on the way there, that's going to be okay. But I'm liking these dirt roads. I like the fact that this feels like a rural sort of plateau, a little bit jungly, kind of a forest village kind of a thing. We have all of this to do. I think residential is what we talked about, and I think we said commercial could kind of occupy this southern coast. Industry, I think if this was stuffed with industry, it'd be more than enough industry. Industry could eventually spill out over here. I like the idea of the industry kind of being in the less, valuable land, where we have kind of at the base of this hill. There's kind of like maybe less valuable land near the freeway. Also good logistics there for the industry. But then we have the more valuable coastal lands being used for tourism and commercial. And then we have sort of housing up here on these upper plateaus, which look pretty nice. Funny thing is that's not even going to be enough. So let's crank that up, but altogether that should give us enough power. We should start to see a lot of our, I don't know why. It seemed like 1 second we're like economically we're just everything's perfect. The next it's like, okay, why are we only making 1,500 per week? We did change our taxes, right? This was something we did remember to do that. Good. Okay. But it seems like we're just kind of waiting for money here. Like, do I go in with dirt? And honestly, the way we could do this actually is it looks like there could totally be a road that goes here to here and then like up. And maybe it actually doesn't even connect in here. Maybe it just sort of curves around and then dips back down and sort of goes into there. Yeah, I think this is the plan here. But this is going to be like, wow, we got to really like, we got to nail this somehow. And we're freestyling over here, so I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. Sometimes just these wiggly lines, I mean, sometimes they look masterful and sometimes they look terrible. It's just you do them and see if you like them or not. That's really all there is to it. Truth is, we don't have to cut that back in. We could just have this. Wait, could this fan out to there? That could be kind of neat. I'm not loving... Here, let's get rid of snapping. We gotta go like 100%. I kind of like the idea of it hooking into there. Is this gonna look good though? Go back to the road guidelines. There to there. It's not. How is it not giving us the 180? I don't know. Not gonna worry about it. It's a little bit goofy that this doesn't like really go anywhere. And what we could do is this could kind of come down here, kind of do a little flick, and maybe that ends up being like a service, a place where we could put like a school or something. Actually, that would be the way to do it, right? That would be sort of that park and a school or something. Boom. Kind of give a little bit of justification for that dead end, for that road there that goes to nowhere. So it goes to the school, of course, right? Of course. Ended up bopping some homes there. We might have lost a little bit of pop just at that initial point. But things are coming along here. Have more space up here that's being taken advantage of. I think really one thing you could do is you could go in with a lot of like dirt pathways here. Make this all look pretty good. This could also end up being a park right here. But if this is a park, then we'll want to like make this into actual housing. This dirt road is sort of hooking through. I mean, do we have that spiral back? And do we kind of keep that as a four-way intersection, justify sort of the existence of this road a little bit? That looks like it was meant to be there. It just lined up perfectly right here. Well, near perfectly. I guess we never really do anything perfectly. We're kind of talking about making this a park and not kind of bopping that area. But it does seem like maybe this would sort of come through, connect down, and we kind of need to, you know, use more space here. That's just like sort of a back, like if you're thinking you're coming in, you're swooping in this way, and then all of a sudden you have to do this crazy like almost like U-turn turn thing. I'm kind of trying to see if we can avoid this, but it does look like that would want to come this way. Heck, maybe even sort of like lining up with whatever it's telling us there. Could this then match up here? Maybe we just slap those into there, and there we go. I don't know. It's not great, but it's filling the space. I think if we ended up zoning all of this, it could look okay. I think we'll get that down, and then we won't really have to think about residential for a minute. We can go take a look at the commercial area, which I think needs a little bit of help. Industry actually needs to figure out where it's going to. We did hit that milestone, so what is that going to give us? Healthcare? Or death care, I mean? Yeah, so we could put in... This could actually take up some of that awkward space. But that awkward space could be utilized via some other things too. So it totally doesn't have to be a cemetery. What's the likelihood of trying to zone into here? Not likely. We might need to get more garbage too, so let's think about that. Or preemptively maybe even drop something like that down. That's a one-way loop. I don't think that's a bad thing though. We were talking about wanting this more like over here, and I think we will just make that little adjustment. Just visually at that corner, that sharp corner. That should automatically kind of bop a lot of these buildings here. Because the zoning should kind of just automatically like update to the fact that they can't zone there anymore. It is overall complaining that there's not enough industry. Here, again, right there, we're going to need to do some work getting the zoning to work. Same with there, kind of clipping zoning and stuff. I think having these be dead ends is totally fine. Having it build up around the landfill is totally fine. Let's do a little bit of cleaning here. This is an interesting map thing though. Just tropical 2.0. Interesting map thing, but I kind of like the just the general cleanliness of it. Yeah, I don't think we're to zone on this main road, but it does kind of leave some like an awkward amount of space. So if we want to come in there with an actual road or something, we could, but like a road going this way or something, or but I'm gonna do this for now. Just to get a little bit better zoning on these areas that we know for sure we want to zone. Like right there. And right there. Right there. And actually we can kind of go do that pretty easily too. That should be a lot of industrial buildings that can pop in. And it looks like it's all watered as well. Kind of do this just to make sure we're looking good in this area. Okay, nice. Let's go back up to speed 3. Not sure why we didn't have it there. Let's spend some of our money preemptively getting power going because I had a feeling that was going to be an issue. We could save up for the high school. We're actually not that far away from getting this. And honestly, the city's kind of in a state right now where we could just kind of relax for a moment and let things kind of develop here. And I don't think we're going to be putting commercial in that line, but if we did, we don't need it on these side roads at least. Dang, this is looking good. We have a lot of zoning down, very little demand, and that's just reminiscent, or that's just basically sort of a signal that we are that we have zoning for all the different types down, so that it is kind of growing in. This is like we are getting a power issue here, but that should fix as we kind of grow out in this direction. In fact, honestly, there's no reason why that shouldn't just come through there. So that might be a quick minute. That might be a quick minute getting power out there, but we'll see. We could definitely go in with some parks, but I think before that, the high school is going to have a pretty profound effect on... I mean, maybe even the high school kind of in this sort of awkward space area with like a park or something. Maybe that kind of justifies this weird dead end. So using services to justify dead ends, I think that makes some sense, right? Usually I don't think of a high school as being on a dead end, but I think at least in a design perspective in the game, it can make some sense that maybe this is like a sort of a school park area in the middle of a larger neighborhood that's more of a sort of organized grid or something. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it. Don't know how well I'm doing. Let me know on that. But we're getting a flow setting issue, right? This is a flow setting issue. We're getting a flow setting issue with the industrial. Actually, we just don't have any other way for them to leave. The way we fix this, I think, is we just give them another road, right? Does it make sense to go 90 off of this, or does it make sense to go 90 off of this? I don't even know if these are even 90 connections. I don't know. I kind of like the way this power line's going, so I'm kind of thinking like, okay, how do we mimic that? But ultimately, these people are trying to like, this would be going out. A lot of this going out traffic is trying to go that direction. Can we get rid of some of these power lines? Can we clean this up? That's connected into here, just connected into here, and then this, right? If this was here, I think we can get rid of all this now, which should help a little bit. that would let us get rid of that line. Clean all of this up just a touch. We're kind of removing some of these power lines, which is nice. So this is all filling in. It's still saying more industrial. We definitely have room to kind of fill these areas out more. It seems like traffic-wise, that actually fixed it. I don't know if it was just a temporary sort of block anyways, but it seems like that did help. We haven't used any skinny roads in here, so coming in with some skinny roads here. Is that a curve? That is a nice sleek curve. Yeah, so it's gonna be hard to kind of do anything off of that without just kind of basically freestyling, hoping for the best. And honestly, that road right there doesn't look too bad. Although we're gonna get more issues on this back end here. Or zoning conflicts, I guess I could say. And does this sort of just kind of like feed out like a bunch of dead ends, or does it... Or does it tie into each other? I'm not sure. What would this look like if this actually tied in here? We're bopping some buildings. I'm not convinced on that. I think having some empty space here is going to be fine. Maybe one of these over here just to kind of justify the two there. And it makes sense that there'd only be one over here. Just because this is a shorter, more tight area, and this is a bigger area. You know, I think that honestly kind of works. I mean, what's nice is once you get to high density, right, then you can start essentially using offices to kind of help take care of this industrial. It's not so strictly just like, you know, tons and tons of industrial that kind of gets annoying after a while, to be honest. I think this could actually be a easy thing to do, would just be put industry on that back line. But I think we were talking about making this forestry, and I think I kind of like that idea. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be big, but it can just be a little bit of forestry on dirt roads back here, just to give it a little bit of visual sort of contrast and stuff, I think. Do we want these to be four-way intersections, though, or do we want to do something different? I mean, I think four-way intersections look sleek. Traffic-wise, they're not the best. I usually do try to avoid them, but I find that, you know, four-way intersections exist in real life. Like, they exist. They're a thing. They're pretty common. And I think when you make an entire city and there are none of them, it's kind of goofy, right? It's kind of goofy. So I have been using more four-way intersections, and that seems to kind of like that's kind of taken things to kind of another level in terms of like just the feel, the sort of the connectivity of the roads themselves and how things kind of go together. Whereas if you're trying to avoid four-way intersections all the time, you end up kind of getting just, you know, sometimes that works though. If you do too many four-way intersections, sometimes just try making nothing but three ways. You can get some different sort of grid, some different sort of like grids going and stuff like that. We actually don't really have anywhere to put this. Now, because we're using, I don't know, I think is it 81 tiles or something? I don't even know. I guess maybe I didn't disable 81 tiles. Let's just build infrastructure outside this bubble. That's going to be fine. It's going to give us that power. It works totally fine. We're just going to put it out there in that little bit and just kind of not worry about this because we are losing power. We are losing power here. And this is looking good, though. This is looking good. I'm thinking the forestry area out here is going to be quite nice. I don't know, maybe we tie it in down here. Maybe all this ties in with like a nice dirt road right here. That could work. Let's do it. Well, now I'm thinking, I'm like second guessing myself here a little bit. I don't know if it wants to, I don't know if we want it to go all the way down or if we just clip that with a little bit of the skinny paved. Yeah. This is looking nice. We're still getting that residential or industrial demand, which we can use here. A little bit of residential demand, which we can easily start to fill up here and start to fill down here. So this is looking good, guys. This is looking filled. This is looking good. We'll take a pause here. We're making 4,000 per week. We have tons of money all of a sudden. So it did kind of like come back around and things are looking really nice. Guys, thank you so much, everybody, for watching this episode. And I will see you guys on the next one.